What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and today we are going to start peeling some stuff off of this white truck, getting it ready for paint. Now, I told you guys kind of what we're doing is my painter, he's always got a ton of projects. If you guys look back when he painted the green truck, there was a lot going on, and he's always got a run of stuff in his shop. So what we are doing is we're going to take the bed to him, let him get that lined out. Once he's ready, then we will take the entire truck to him. So yes, this truck is going to paint. I know a lot of you guys have wanted to see me work on this. And so today, what we're going to do is we're going to try to make his job in life a little easier. So we're going to try to get the trim off, at least on the bed. So I told you guys, and I mean this, I'm going to take the trim off, but I'm going to be putting it back on once we're all finished, because I just like the look of this truck with the trim on. Now, the chrome around the bed or the fenders there, I don't know if I'm going to put it back on. I'm pretty sure I am. Just depends on once I get the front fenders all rolled, how it fits. So anyway, we're going to take that stuff off today. We're going to start by getting the chrome off. Like I said, the bed, the trim on the side of the bed, the black trim, we're gonna get the bumper off, and then we may go ahead and loosen the gas nozzle. Just like I said, I'm gonna try to make it as easy as possible. Now, I don't know if these trucks, which we're gonna figure it out, but on those trucks, you have to loosen the bed in order to get the bumper and brackets all out at one time. So I'm not sure on these if you have to do that, but we're gonna figure that out today. But let's set you guys up on a tripod. I'm gonna get my heat gun out. We're gonna heat this up and we're gonna fishing line this off. And then I'm gonna go one step further and I'm going to try to take all of that two-sided tape off as well. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make it as easy for him as possible. So let's get you guys set up on a tripod and let's get started. So I'm hoping that I don't have to take the wheels off, but I have a bad feeling that I'm gonna have to take the wheels off to get this chrome trim off. These things are always like just rusted and tight. This one acts like I might get it loose, but the ones like up here, I don't know, we'll just have to see. Sometimes you get lucky, but I'm generally not one that gets too lucky. And these are like almost a self-tapping screw. There's not a whole lot to them, really. Anyway, we're gonna take all those out. Man, this is gonna be close. I've got like one of these guys. Sometimes you can get lucky and that'll do it. Ooh. So back in the day when I've had these, I probably had, I don't know, maybe 10 of these trucks over the years. And every one back in the day, I'd always take this off because I hated it. But now, the older I get, the more I like the chrome, guys. So we'll take these, how many is there here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So after this one, there's 4 more. I won't make you guys watch all this, but that is our first step. I'll turn the camera back on when I'm pulling it off so you guys can see how bad it's beat up. Hopefully it's not a rusty mess under there. I probably would have been time ahead taking the wheel off, but we got it. And that thing, it's not too bad. It's just dirt. I don't see any rust really. No, looks good. All right, let's move on to the trim. So in order to get this off of here, and like I said, I'm gonna put it back on. Now I'm not gonna put this back on because it's, you can see it's all weathered and looks like crap. I'm gonna buy new, but I'm gonna keep these pieces. And so I'm gonna use my heat gun to heat up the glue behind it, and I'm gonna use some 20-pound fishing line. And so we're just gonna work our way through here. And then once I get it off, I'm gonna label it. So I'm gonna label like rear, driver's side, trim, behind rear wheel. And I'm gonna label each one of these pieces because when I go, I think when you buy this, it comes in a big long strip. So you have to cut it to length. So I want it to be the factory length. So I'm going to keep these, I'm hoping that I can just, what I'll probably do is wrap tape around it, but I think the back of this is kind of a grayish color. I might be able to just Sharpie on it, but let's see if we can get this off of here. See that I've got it off there. I labeled it driver's side behind rear wheel, okay? And we're just gonna keep going here. I'm gonna, before I get crazy with my eraser wheel, I am gonna take some of this dirt off. I mean, it's gonna be painted, but no sense in scoring it up any more than you have to. I mean, this is gonna micro scratch it for sure, but now, if your truck has the original piece of plastic right here, I'm probably going to try to peel it off as well. I don't know how good I'm going to be able to get that off. I might have to use some adhesive remover, but I need that out of his way as well. So that's probably good enough. I'm just using some all-purpose cleaner here. Might as well spend the time and do the best we can. All right, I'm gonna go grab my drill and my eraser wheel, and we're gonna try to blow this, the rest of this two-sided tape off. You guys have seen me use this on many projects. It's about time for a new one, but we're gonna use this to see if we can get off the rest of this two-sided tape. I helped a buddy one time take this off by hand by rolling it with your finger, and I literally blistered. We would blister our fingers, let them heal, and it took like 2 weeks to do this, and then they come out with this tool like this. It's crazy that I used to do that. Now this step's probably not as important since we're painting it, but I am going to use some 3M adhesive remover and go back over it just to make sure that we get... I just don't want him to have to sand any more than he has to. I mean, he's going to have to sand, right? But it just sucks to have to sand through a bunch of old glue, two-sided tape. I just want to make it, like I said, as easy on him as possible. So we're just going to repeat these steps all the way down this truck. I don't know, I may get this thing out to him and maybe like, I don't want to do this. Hopefully that's not the case since we're doing this, but I think, honestly guys, I could probably paint correct a lot of this truck and make it look a lot nicer. Now it's not gonna look as nice as new paint, but like these stains right here would come out, and I think that this stuff would come out as well. See, these are actually dirt. A little bit of two-sided tape left, but I also was able to get that piece of tape off down here, that clear tape that the factory puts on. So all the chips in the paint down there helped. There we go, let's move on. So I got me a helper out here now. He's running the heat gun. You say hi?
Hi.
Good job.
Hi, Gogo.
All right, you gotta get it hot. Daddy's gonna take it off.
It keeps moving down.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Now go down a little further. Go right there. There you go. There you go. Teamwork. Teamwork. You're doing a good job. Go right here.
Hey, what is that little rock?
Dirt. I'm gonna go down a little further. Right there. There you go. Don't hit the truck. There you go. Keep pointing at that trim. Right here. Your hand's getting tired?
Yeah.
Alright, maybe we turn it off for a minute. Actually, I'm going to heat the rest of this up.
What is that fishing line?
Fishing lines to get this trim off. And scooting it back behind it so it cuts through it. Alright. So once you get it quite a ways, you can generally heat it up and pull it the rest of the way off. Man, there's a lot of dirt. So as you can see, we've got this side complete up to the cab. Now I think I am going to go ahead and take this off the cab while I'm at it, but let's move on to the other side. I did go ahead and get the chrome piece off, guys. That thing fought me, but I got it off there. So let's start with getting the rest of this stuff off. And like I said, I'll probably go around the whole truck just to go ahead and get it out of the way, even though we don't need it as of right now. I'm just in that mood and I have all the stuff out, so we'll just keep going. At this point, we've got all of the trim off, including this piece up here, as you guys saw. I ran out of 3M adhesive remover. I've got this side. I will tell you guys, one of the hardest things to get off, I went ahead, you could see the paint's all chipped there, but there was a sticker that the factory puts on both here, and then there's one behind the rear tire, and it just kind of keeps the chips, rock chips down. And man, that thing fought me. When I used my eraser wheel on it, it just balled up, and so I scrubbed on it for quite a while, and I didn't show you guys that part. But at this point, like I said, we're done. We're all the way around the truck. I decided to go ahead and do the front, like I said, because, well, I had the stuff out, and it honestly, it doesn't take long to take the trim off, but that glue in the front, man, that beat me up. So let's see at this point if we can get under here and get this bumper unbolted. I think I'm going to take a couple pictures of it because I am going to be replacing it. I'm going to rob the ball off, though, actually, for my four-wheeler. If I can get that thing off, it looks pretty rusty, but we'll see. So let's, like I said, let's get under the truck and see if we can get this thing unbolted. Let's go ahead and loosen. Normally, guys, there's a screw here and here, I believe, and there's only one in the bottom. So I'm assuming that the bed has been off before, and this is by far not the screw that would hold this in normally. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that, but like I said, it's probably been off before. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this screw out of place. We'll have this loose. Yeah, there was definitely supposed to be, you can see that right there. There's supposed to be a screw right here, and then there's another one that's supposed to be on this side right here. So definitely been off before. All right, anyway, that's loose. Let's go on to underneath and see what size we need for the bumper. I'm pretty sure that the bumper has to be taken off. I'm pretty sure the bed has to be loose in order to get the bumper out, but we're gonna try it and see. I'm gonna slide under there. We'll see what tools we need to get it out of place. Now that we're back here to the bumper, I went ahead and took the air line for the shocks, went right here, took it off, took the license plate off, obviously, and then, you know, we've only got one light. I did unplug the lights. There's some odd stuff down here. I don't know what the wiring is all about, but I'll mess with that once the bed's off, and I've got this thing here without a bed on it. But anyway, we've got an 18 here. There's an 18 bed bolt right above that. And then there's two 18s that come in from the side here. So right here and right above it, going towards the outside of the truck. And then there's a 15 up in the corner. This guy right here, you shouldn't have to have anything on the other end of, but the other two, you're probably gonna have to put an 18 on the outside and a 15 up in the corner. That 15 millimeter also holds the bracket back here that holds the leaf spring and the shackle. So we're gonna go ahead and whip all those out on both sides. So it should be a total of 4 bolts, and the bumper should be loose. Once we get that loose, hopefully we can drag this thing out. It looks like I'm gonna have to clip these wires. They're like bare in some spots, so I don't, like I said, I don't really understand what's going on, but I'm gonna see if I can get those all loose, and then we'll see if we can pull this thing back, and I'm pretty sure it's the same situation. We're probably gonna have to loosen the bed up in order to get the bumper out. Those are all the bumper bolts that I took out, and just like I suspected, and like the newer ones, you're gonna have to lift the bed up in order to get the bumper out, unless you unhook the brackets. The problem is, guys, the brackets are so snuck in behind the bumper, and they're rusty, so I think I'll have issues getting those out. So what I'm gonna do, and just to save a little time when I go to drop the bed off, I'm gonna drive this truck out to him. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take all the bed bolts out. There should be 8 of them. There was 2 back here that I showed you earlier, and then I'll try to show you guys as I go to them. But anyway, there's 2 back here in the very back. There was holes to get to them. I showed you those a minute ago. And then there should be 6 more. So we're just gonna go ahead and take all 6 of those out, or all 8 of those out total. And then we will lift the bed up just enough to get the bumper out of place. Let's take a look at where these bumper bolts are at, or sorry, the bed bolts. So we had those 2 that were right here in this hole. And then there's a hole right here that you can see. And I went ahead and got all 4 of those out. So the back 4, you can see them 2 there and then 2 on the other side. The other 2 are in the front of the axle. So there'll be 2 holes in the frame, 2 more holes like this, and they're pretty good size holes. Same 18 millimeter that I took everything else out with. 18's just a hair loose on it, but I didn't find a standard that I like the fitment of any better. So we're gonna go ahead and get the other 4 out. Now that we've got all 8 of those bed bolts out, you can see what I've done. I've taken a block of wood on my jack because it's just me out here. And I've lifted up on the very end of the bed. Now I didn't lift it real far, guys, maybe an inch, maybe just a hair more than that. But you don't want to get into the cab. I mean, we're gonna paint this whole thing, so it's not, we just don't need any more dents than what we already have. So anyway, lift it up just a little bit with the jack and a block of wood, and then we can just pull this bumper straight out. At this point, I've got obviously the bumper setting over here, and I put the bed back down, took the jack out, and I've got 4 bolts in it. So instead of putting all 8 back in, I put the furthest one back, so these guys back here that are really easy to reach, and then the ones on the front. And they're actually outside the frame rail, so they're easier to get to also. So 4 bolts should get us to the paint guy's house, my painter, and he's relatively close, and it's like a 30-mile-an-hour zone. So it doesn't take me long to get there, and I don't have to drive fast. So I'm not worried about only having 4 bolts in it. But I wanted to walk you guys around the bed to show you the imperfections before we take it out there. So I'm not gonna show you guys us taking it out there and taking it off, because really there's nothing left other than we do have to unplug the tail lights. But because I'm gonna be on the road, I wanna have the tail lights in on the drive out there, and then I'll probably just like zip tie them to the frame on the way home. But some of the things that we're gonna be working on, or he's gonna be working on, I say we, not we, him, because I don't do this. We are gonna shave the stake pockets. This thing had some sort of tie down before. I'm gonna fix that. There's a couple wavy spots here. You can see, I don't know if you can see it in the light, there's a couple dings here. It looks like something scraped down the bed. Gonna be fixing that. Obviously, you know, making this all like it was to begin with, actually better than factory. Obviously stake pocket there, and then another hole from a tie down before. Now, as far as the inside of the bed, let's go to the other side real quick and look at it. The other side, about the same. There's not really any dents in the bed itself, but same thing here, stake pockets on both the front and the rear. And then I noticed that this is pushed just a little forward, not much, but there's a couple dings, and there's actually a hole right there where something's gouged through that. So I'm gonna have him fix that, and then we're gonna re-seam seal. There's an area right there where the seam seal's broken. Gonna re-seam seal that. But as far as the bed, I'm gonna have him take a few little dings out, like the deep ones that would show up, because what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a spray-in bed liner just like I did on my green truck. And I don't want him to spend a ton of time on the inside of the bed. To me, I still wanna maybe throw something in here occasionally, and so to me that the spray-in liner is just really the way to go, guys. Now, there is a couple spots in the tailgate where he's gonna have to, you can see that it's dented a little bit here. And he may look at this and be like, get me another tailgate. I'm not really sure. So the other thing, obviously we're gonna be reversing the tailgate handle, and then there is a little crease right here. Looks like it's been painted on before, somebody's messed with it, but no tailgate handle. Obviously all this will be nice and clean and finished. And I will show you guys the progress. So I'll go out there occasionally and give you guys updates. But the next time you see this truck, we will have the bed off, and we will be moving on to maybe some suspension tweaks that I'm thinking about, and also cleaning up the frame underneath the bed.